Good morning, everyone. How are you? Well, I think that Commissioner McLaughlin is on his way. Um, we're glad to host Commission Corner again, and I thought I would I think it said something on the email about kind of an update on the NACO thing I shared with you last time. And then we'll uh, share a few things that are items of recent interest, and then we want to save a lot of time, or as much as you want, for Q&A. Okay. So since we last spoke, the effort for the NACO leadership um, position that I shared with you has just gone along swimmingly. In fact, I just got back from two events that are related to that. I'll share very briefly on those. And then 4 weeks from today, I leave for Philadelphia, and there'll be about 3,500 people at the annual meeting from across the country, and it will be several 20 to 23-hour days, I think. There'll be at least one like that. Um, so, and we'll know by the end of the day on July 14th if we were successful. But no matter how it turns out, we'll be successful in that folks from these counties from across the country will all have different challenges, but essentially they're really the same things. We have a saying that if you've seen one county, you've seen one county, because we're all different, but we really have the same underlying challenges. So, um, the Western Interstate region, which is basically the western half of the country, met in Rapid City, South Dakota, in Pennington County, and for 3 days, electing their regional leadership and dealing with issues from energy and the environment to land use and water resources. And we had a booth there. We got to talk to a lot of folks, and really left there feeling like we were kind of even with the other candidate. Great person. It's kind of interesting because it's kind of shaped up to be an urban versus rural thing. And as you know, Greene County is a little bit of both. So I think we're in a good spot. Um, and then I returned Friday was here Friday, or actually got in Thursday night from the the NACO County Leadership Institute, which it's similar to their high performance, but it's in a lot of ways different. As some of you are aware, I taught leadership in the Drury University Leadership Studies program for about 6 years. So I went to that thinking, um, okay, there's going to be some new things I can add to the toolbox. But I told the trainers it really, after 3 intense days of group training, it blew it out of the water. I was not expecting the angle that they took, and came back with I think, some really good tools for um, developing a new approach to leadership. And that was no more than one person per state, and you had to be nominated by your state associations. There were 19 people in the cohort, and we were the 21st class that was graduated. So um, who knows? I may pull some of those tools out around here, but not anytime soon. I've got a lot to focus on over the next 4 weeks at least, and five counting the annual meeting. So we'll keep you updated. I'm going to invite Commissioner Russell to kind of touch on a few things, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Sounds good. Well, like Bob said, we're going to try to leave most of the time for questions. We said we were going to do that last time, and I think we left like 1 minute. So we'll make sure and leave time to talk about anything else that you want to talk about. Over the past couple months, or actually over the past month, one of the things that we've been most involved in is this storm response. I know probably just about everyone in here has had some involvement in this in some form or fashion. And we attended a debriefing at the Office of Emergency Management yesterday, and it was really good just to see the way the community came together. We were at the OEM, the EOC, within probably an hour, hour and a half after the storm on the day ahead to just be there to support them and see if we may need to do anything. And it was really interesting to see so many people in that room that had come from all over the county. Many of you were in this room. We had obviously led by OEM, Highway played a big part in this. Resource Management, I know, played a big part in this. The Budget Office, Purchasing, so many other office holders. I know, Brent, you've been involved, and so many others. So the community really came together in a tremendous way to support neighbors that really did get hit hard by the disaster. Some of the topics that were approached yesterday, and it really kind of drove it home to me just how many things are involved in emergency management. Were activation and coordination, power outages and restoration, roadway impacts, mass care, so feeding people that didn't have power, damage reporting, damage assessments, debris management. The list just goes on. And so there's just been so many people involved, and grateful for all of your participation to serve our neighbors. Anything else on that?
The only thing I can think of is, debriefing is really good because it helps us to know what we can do better next time. And one of the takeaways that, which is probably a big part of what we do in these events, and that's coordinating our messaging so the public knows who to call, what to know, and the information that they need to be safe, and then kind of just what's going on. So really appreciate our other partners. Of course, Scott over at the city is on the JIC with Robert and the folks at CU, and that's actually kind of changing right now. But with Joel Alexander retiring, but we did see some things where we could improve the communication within that group, and I think it will help. So we had some really good takeaways. I don't want to point any fingers. Nobody did anything wrong. It's just if we better communicate with one another, then the public doesn't get confused. And I really appreciate Cora at the city because she has been through these before, and she and I both kind of had some similar thoughts that we shared, and I think we had good takeaways.
No, I think that's exactly right. And to that point, I think a partnership that worked really well in this circumstance was the city and county working together. There were so many calls that we had, so many meetings that we had, that we were really just working hand in hand to make sure that a consistent message was going out. So it was tremendous. One of the things that we did in the past couple months was pass a resolution on April 4th to be a Blue Shield County. Some of you all may have followed one of Governor Kehoe's priorities is public safety. And he's asking local partners to also reaffirm their commitment to public safety. And so in becoming a Blue Shield County, we are committing to one, enhancing public safety, two, strengthening support for law enforcement, and three, building sustainable public safety partnerships. And so we were one of the first counties to apply for and be designated Blue Shield County, just to reaffirm our commitment to public safety. We work very closely with the sheriff on that and plan to continue doing so. Something that may be of interest that has impacted parking and just flow around the county is the judicial courts facility. I know, Bob, you've been very involved in the parking situation there. I didn't know if you want to give an update on that.
Not anything really new. I do want to give a shout out to our friends across the street at CU because they did essentially just loan us a bunch of parking spaces, take a parking lot. On this west side of their lot here on the east side of Robertson, which has helped our juvenile employees. And the other thing, of course, is moving the staging area, which made a lot of sense. And so that really helped us.
Yeah.
But appreciate your patience. I know we say that a lot. First it was the gravel parking lot, now it's this. But it's going to be really good.
And just patience in this building as we've all been moved around.
Yeah. So it really I came up at a meeting last night about reuse of the facilities. What we're doing at juvenile, just as a reminder, that saved $1 million, and that came from employees. So our juvenile folks actually said, "Hey, We liked the building that we were in. We looked at it, saved $1 million, and I think all said and done, we're going to be in a really good spot with our facilities.
I'll just touch on a couple of things that we have been out and involved in the community over the past 2 or 3 months, and then talk about a couple upcoming things that may be of interest to you all. First, I've been involved in OTO for about 4 years now. Currently the chair of OTO. One of our top priorities going into last year was the I-44 expansion and renovation, and then which also involves the Kansas kind of reconfiguring Kansas. As many of you know, Kansas and 13 really start to back up. The traffic flow with the diverging diamond there, it was the first in the country. It worked well for a while, but traffic patterns have changed. It no longer works at all. And so our priority with the legislature last year was to get funding for that. The entire region went together and made that the #1 priority, and really the only priority that we talked to the legislature about. And with that one voice, we were able to succeed in that with the help of our local delegation, especially Bill Owen and Senator Huff. So we attended a groundbreaking in April on that. It was really great to see people from all around the state come together and celebrate that milestone. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pain points over the next several months, if not a year plus, as that construction is going on. It's already ongoing, but certainly that was a big win for our community as a whole. We've attended several different groundbreakings and milestones. One that was of interest is Ozarks Coca-Cola Dr. Pepper had their 105th anniversary. 4-generation business. The thing I found interesting is they are the second oldest continually operating family business in the Springfield area. Any idea what the first is? It's a car dealership. It's Thompson's. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting fact, and they suspect that fact holds true with Greene County as well, but they're confident in it being Springfield. But they had a major expansion that we were able to tour that day that was really quite impressive.
I've never seen so much Coca-Cola in all my life.
Yeah, it was stacked from floor to ceiling. Remember the Patriots stuff?
Sure. You'll be getting an email from us later, I hope today. Robert's been working on this. We do every year the Flag Day celebration. And Flag Day is actually Saturday. It's always June 14th. But Friday at 10 o'clock, we'd invite you to the Rotunda. We're going to have the courthouse corral and do what we typically do. And so please invite your staff, the others in your office, and invite folks who can maybe just come to the courthouse that you talked to this week. It's a good celebration. And remember that as we go through the rest of the events this year, we're already into the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the country, which culminates July 4th next year. Well, actually, we'll continue because we have some other things, but that really kicked off beginning this past April.
Yeah, we really have a great group that you've been working closely with for this 250th celebration. I think it's going to really do some exciting things here in the county.
Yeah, the Sons of the American Revolution are kind of leading some of that, but they'll be here, like I say again, this Friday, 10 o'clock in the Rotunda. So it'll be short, but it's always a good time to come together.
So last thing I'll mention before we move into questions, Bob has some other things, is we are going to, in conjunction with the budget office, launch a new series of educational events. It's going to be called Paint by Numbers. It's going to be led by Jeff and Mike. Probably initially start doing this online, but we could potentially do in person if it works better. But it's going to be a educational series all around the numbers related to the county. We've had an opportunity to preview what this first one will be, and it is next Wednesday, the 18th at 8:30. Did I get that right? Yes, sir. Okay, so Wednesday at 8:30. The first one is going to be a quick overview on the financial situation here in the county, but then spend most of the time on pensions. So obviously, everyone that works at the county, that's going to be personally relatable to you all, but I think it will also provide you some information for when you're out in the community working to try to recruit people here to the county, maybe potentially retain some people that may be looking at something. I found it very fascinating when we had a chance to preview. I would ask all of you to join us for this one and monthly, or we doing it every other month? Every other month um, uh, for the foreseeable future. So I think you'll find it very, very beneficial. I would ask you to join.
As John said, we took a look at it, and I was struck by the things about the pensions that I had not even contemplated myself. And I just turned 56, so I'm looking at retirement at some point. So definitely come, because you can be a um, really good advocate for telling folks about how great it is to have these benefits. So the only other thing I'll mention, John, is while I was gone to the trips I mentioned, both Commissioner Russell and McLaughlin went to a recent bench and bar luncheon with the Springfield Metro Bar, and the Chief Justice was down to speak. They had a great conversation. Really appreciate our friends in the bar. And, just keep in mind that while we have 1,100,000 plus employees at the county, our county family is considerably more than that because of our state partners. So, um, anyway, I wish I could have been there, but
No, it was a great lunch, and you had suggested we attend that because I think you've attended some in the past, and it was really a great group. It was a packed room for the chief judge. She was making kind of her last swing as chief judge because that rotates every couple of years, I believe. Um, Great to reconnect with her and really continue connecting with some of our local judges. And one of the common comments made during that meeting and just private conversations was we really appreciate the partnership and relationship. And that really is a testament to everyone.
and they're not related, but well, who was she asked you about somebody that she wondered was related.
Yeah, her name is Mary Rhodes Russell. My sister-in-law is Mary Russell, and she had seen some school board signs driving through Lebanon at one point in time and said, "Are you in any relation to the Mary Russell in Lebanon?" Which so we had a good laugh and good conversation about that. I said, "Can you tell me why you're asking before I answer?"
Oh, goodness. Well, that's really what we had to share, but we'd like to go wherever you'd like to go. So what questions do you have? We also take good advice and counsel. So who's up first? And I guess we don't know if we have questions online.
Justin,
Maybe they can. Okay, great. Justin?
Well, if you're taking counsel, then
Oh, yeah.
could you just slightly expand just a little bit more on the Blue Shield? I haven't heard of this. Is this just like a resolution that we're signing, or is this actually standards that we have to maintain in order to keep a designation of a Blue Shield community?
Yeah, so it is a resolution that we passed, and I made a note of when that was on April 4th, so that should be in the minutes from April 4th, the exact copy of that resolution. It's making a commitment to public safety. And what that does is it just reaffirms that we want to work with everyone in that commitment to public safety, including the state. And we have developed a very good relationship with the Department of Public Safety to continue that working relationship. It also opens up some opportunities for the sheriff to apply for some state grants in being a Blue Shield county. So that is a big thing that it potentially opens up. As far as continuing, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I think unless we would rescind it, that would continue. But I think that we'll kind of see as time goes on there.
It was actually born out of an executive order shortly after the inauguration. And as John said, just really a public statement to support law enforcement, and it had some grant funds. So communities that refuse to do that, they're not eligible for the grants. There was actually a news story last night that the city of Springfield has also done the resolution and is now designated same.
Okay.
And I think Branson, they mentioned 4. Of course, the sheriff's office was mentioned in the story last night. So, yeah. What other questions? Yeah, Amanda.
Jeff may cover this in the paint by numbers, but we got an email about some good news about the tax revenue budget and being above where we thought we would be. And I was just wondering if you was we attribute that to, or if you anticipate that continuing.
Well, we had a court session yesterday, and Jeff always gives a um, very thorough update on numbers. And we do look at sales tax revenue on a monthly basis whenever it comes in. Um, how is the best way to answer that? Because it's very complicated. Some things are up, some things are not. We have, to summarize his report yesterday, we have a lot of our expenditures happen early, a lot of our revenues come in late.
Yeah, it's specific to the sales tax. I know it really does ebb and flow a lot, and sometimes it may be that there's some catch-up revenue that's come in. And Jeff, I find if you want to just address if you saw anything particular in that.
For us, what gets booked for this calendar year begins in March. So March and April, we experience slower tax revenues than what we thought we were going to have. And we started looking at when those receipts were coming in, because with sales tax, you'll get the actual economic period, that month where people actually spend their money. It's collected over, next year, 2 years even, have references for that particular month. So when we're looking at the economic activity for those months, they were a little bit slower. And then with May, we received this last sales tax, and it was catching up about everything that we had seen as being slow before. So we're actually seeing more money coming in quicker into the economic periods. So processing at the state has sped up. And so we're not really sure where we'll be until we're about 5 months past we'll become about 5 months worth of reporting. But right now, the things that were making us really cautious were the first 2 months that we got have been more than offset by this most recent month that we got. So it was really good sign to see that come in.
Yeah, that was good to see.
And a lot of things ebb and flow, like our reimbursement for the state, from the state for things like jail per diem, that kind of, there's some give and take on that as we go through. Was it last year that they got caught up a little bit and now it's kind of back to normal?
Yeah, last year we were caught up a little bit, but we ended up, Justin's office was able to bring back 5 months worth of revenues in Department of Corrections at the end of last year. And so right now we're running behind even more than that right now. But yeah, it's kind of hit and miss with DOC on when they're going to reimburse us and how much they're going to reimburse us. But the federal money is doing, the federal reporting, and in particular legal device, is doing extremely well this year, better than budget, and it's getting a larger portion of our jail facility being used, since we're paying for the full operations for that.
And they pay a little quicker.
Strong thing happening this year for us.
Yeah, it is. And they do pay a little quicker. But the other thing I'll mention on revenues is I don't know about you all. I know Brent has gotten calls. We've gotten calls, but folks are getting their real estate assessments, and they all think that John and Rusty and I raised their taxes. And so there's a lot of educating that's going on right now, because I was even told very firmly told that we did the same thing last year. And I said, no, it's a 2-year process. And the commission does not really have anything to do with that. It's set by statute. The assessor's office does that every 2 years. But what you're thinking of last year was when the tax was changed to line up with the new assessment. And so, yeah, it may feel like it's every year. But here's the thing I want to mention on that. We are a collection agency for the 42 taxing entities in the county. So that money is distributed out to cities, schools, parks, libraries, community colleges, community improvement districts, the list goes on. We keep 3.5%, 4%.
4.5.
Okay, thank you. And 1% of that is a statutory, basically, collection fee. So the rest is a little bit to road and bridge, and a very small amount to general revenue. So 4.5% total. we're mostly funded by sales tax, as you know, but that continues to kind of ebb and flow since there's no online sales tax in the county. So I won't go into all of that because we've talked about it before, but I just thought I'd mention it on revenue. Other questions? Anybody? Okay, well, unless you have something, we're going to get out 3 minutes early.
I don't.
Thank you all so
Thanks,
much
everyone.
for what you
Appreciate
do.
you.